Hey, what's going on, beautiful royal family? All praises to the Most High God of Israel. Now, family, this is a very exciting time for me because, as y'all already know, I love talking about the history of our book. And if you are unfamiliar, this is a celebration time, the Destruction of Nicanor. And what we're going to do right now, we're going to read pretty much the meat and potatoes of this high holy time frame that we are in right now. So, as y'all already know, I love history, but I want you to take the opportunity to go and read for yourselves. So what we're going to do, we are going to start at 2 Maccabees chapter 15. But you should really read all of the Maccabees if you're unfamiliar. But what we're going to do, like right now, is going to get to the source of it. So let's go ahead. We're going to read all of 2 Maccabees, which you can find in the Apocrypha. And we're going to read chapter 15. Now, we're going to be talking about the king during this time. And his name was Nicanor. All right. Horrible, evil, disgusting man. Absolutely just atrocious. And we're going to read about him here in a little bit. But the main thing that I need y'all to take away from this are the parallels of how this matches up to today. Remember what Solomon said, there is nothing new under the sun. So how all of this matches up to today's climate. And also, I need y'all to pay attention to how the Father does not play when it comes to his Sabbath days. Okay? So all of this, remember, within our high holy day right now, within our high holy time frame, this time period that we're in, that we, the Israelites, are to celebrate. And watch just how things also fall up under there. So let's go ahead and start this. 2 Maccabees chapter 15 and verse 1. But Nicanor, and that's the king during this time, hearing that Judas and his company, and Judas, that's us, hearing that Judas and his company were in the strong places about Samaria, resolved without any danger to set upon them on the Sabbath day. Nevertheless, the Jews that were compelled to go with him said, "Oh, destroy not so cruelly and barbarously, but give honor to that day, which he that seeth all things hath honored with holiness above all other days." So I want to make sure y'all understand this. Our people were like, yo, listen, I don't care what you're going through, but on the Sabbath, leave that day alone. Leave the Sabbath day alone because our Father don't play about that day. Watch how this conversation continues to go. Verse 3, then the most ungracious wretch demanded, and that's talking about Nicanor, but the most ungracious wretch demanded, if there were a mighty one in heaven that had commanded the Sabbath day to be kept, and when they said, there is in heaven a living Lord, and mighty, who commanded the seventh day to be kept. Then said the other, and I also am mighty upon earth, and I command to take arms, and to do the king's business. Yet he obtained not to have his wicked will done. I just want to make sure y'all understand what's happening right here. So they're like, yo, listen, we're not going against our God, and especially not on a Sabbath day. That's not going to happen. And Nicanor was like, well, wait a second. There's no God in heaven. What you talking about? Just like how they are today. And our people are like, oh, we're not playing with you. We're not doing that. And he said, well, guess what? If he's mighty up there, then I'm mighty on earth. So go ahead and do what I told you to do. And you see how our people are right now? They're like, oh, no, we're not playing with this nigga. No. Verse 6. So Nicanor, in exceeding pride and haughtiness, determined to set up a public monument of his victory over Judas and them that were with him. But Maccabees had ever sure confidence that the Lord will help him. You see that? That's how our people are supposed to be. Even when all of these Edomites and all these other nations come against us, we should be like, the Father got it. That's why I don't understand why so many of these brothers and sisters be arguing with people all the time. It's ridiculous. Verse 8. Wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them, but to remember the help which in former times they had received from heaven, and now to expect the victory and aid which should come unto them from the Almighty. I need y'all to understand. I'm about to say Nicodemus, excuse me. But Nicanor was on that BS. And Maccabees was like, nigga, we ain't playing with you at all. We're not doing what you tell us to do. We will obey our Father. We're going to obey him. We're not obeying you. We're not doing what you tell us to do. Sorry. And then what the Maccabees do? He looked at all the people and was like, you see, listen, how our Father helped us in the past, he will help us again. He will help us again. So y'all need to stop being scary. Stop being scary and let's go. All right, let's continue. Verse 9. And so comforting them out of the law and the prophets, and withal putting them in mind of the battles that they won afore, meaning before, he made them more cheerful. And when he had stirred up their minds, he gave them their charge, showing them therewith all the falsehood of the heathen and the breach of oaths. This is why I'm saying the comparison today. All of this that they're doing in politics, you got Trump out here patting black people on the ass, talking about, oh yeah, we love you, we're gonna work with you, we're gonna do these things with you, don't you worry, black person, we got you, your master got you. And you have these niggas running out there, okay, master, just like everything that they're trying to do here. But what is Maccabees saying? Maccabees like, yo, we ain't falling for none of that. No, they can't help us. Our God helps us. That's the only one that helps us. Nobody else, not these political systems, nothing at all. Not the religious system here in this country. Nothing is going to help us. Only him. That is it. The second you bring religion and politics into anything, you have a problem on your hands. All right, here it is. I want to read 10 one more time. And when he stirred up their minds, he gave them their charge. In other words, he let them know, listen, y'all are the powerful ones. Y'all are the ones who are the authority, okay? Our authority is there. And in the heavens, there is a God that rules over everything. So that's what he's trying to remind them. Keep your mind where it belongs. Showing them therewithal the falsehood of the heathen, these lying ass niggas down here, and the breach of oaths, because they told us so many times, we have you. There's an organization called the NAACP that has not done a damn thing for our people. And they work in conjunction with the United States government, so you know it's BS. Verse 11, thus he armed every one of them, not so much with defense of shields and spears, as with comfortable and good words. And beside that, he told them a dream worthy to be believed, as if it had been so indeed, which did not a little rejoice them. You see that? He had a vision. Verse 12, and this was his vision, that Onias, who had been high priest, a virtuous and a good man, reverend in conversation, gentle in condition, well-spoken also, and exercised from a child in all points of virtue, holding up his hands, prayed for the whole body of the Jews. You see that? That right there just X'd out at least 95% of our people. At least 95. Because he was praying for everybody and not himself. And I have been talking about that for the past several weeks now. Stop praying for you and pray for others. Verse 13, this done in like manner, there appeared a man with gray hairs and exceeding glorious, who was of a wonderful and excellent majesty. Then Onias answered, saying, this is a lover of the brethren, who prayeth much for the people and for the holy city, to wit, Jeremiah, the prophet of God. Y'all see this? You see what happens when you go into prayer, right? Who appeared? You already know who it is. Watch this. Verse 15. Whereupon Jeremiah, holding forth his right hand, gave to Judas a sword of gold, and in giving it spake thus, take this holy sword, a gift from God, with the which thou shalt wound the adversaries. You see, the Father always put a sword in our hand. Always put a sword in our hand. But yet niggas always running around with guns. The weapon of choice is a sword. You see that? Because with a sword, you actually got to fight. You got to battle somebody with a gun. You could just stand afar. That's for cowards. Verse 17, excuse me. Thus being well comforted by the words of Judas, which were very good and able to stir them up to valor and to encourage the hearts of the young men, they determined not to pitch camp, but courageously to set upon them and manfully to try the matter by conflict, because the city and the sanctuary and the temples were in danger. They say, we ain't going to sleep. We going to whoop some ass. We not going to sleep. We getting ready to tear some shit up. That's right. And I'm not sitting here with them foo-foo nonsense ass words. This is our people. This is something that you need to be getting excited about. Do you see why they took this out the Bible? Do you see why? Because it's the Apocrypha. All throughout the Apocrypha, there's black people rising up and whooping ass. The same reason why they don't talk about Nat Turner in school and talk about the revolts. They only talk about that he died. Yep. Okay. Watch this. Verse 18. For the care that they took for their wives and their children, their brethren and folks, was in least account with them, but the greatest and principal fear was for the holy temple. They're like, yo, where God resides, we not playing. Also, they that were in the city took not the least care, being troubled for the conflict abroad. You see that? They didn't care anything about themselves. They didn't care about death. They did not fear death. They didn't give a damn about their families, their kids, and not like that. Why? Because it was for the whole of the matter. And the whole of the matter, as we always know, is to be the ambassador for him. Verse 21, Maccabees, seeing the coming of the multitude and the diverse preparations of armor and the fierceness of the beast, stretched out his hand towards heaven and called upon the Lord that worketh wonders, knowing that victory cometh not by arms, but even as it seemeth good to him, he giveth it to such as are worthy. Do you see that? What is our greatest weapon? Right here, Father, please help us. This is our greatest weapon. This is right here. This is what we should be celebrating for. This is why we are celebrating this high holy day today, because it's right here. That all we have to do is raise our hands, lift our voice to the Father, and we will be heard. We are the only people on planet Earth that are able to do that. The only ones. The star people. The only ones. Y'all will get it one day. Verse 22, therefore in his prayer he said after this manner, O Lord, thou didst send thine angel in the time of Ezekiel, king of Judah, and didst slay in the host of Sennacherib 180,5,000. Wherefore now also, O Lord of heaven, send a good angel before us for a fear and dread unto them. Do y'all see that? What did he call? He called for an angel. He called for an angel. The very same things that's out there right now. The very same things that you can see up in the air right now. Before I had one over my house. Now I got two. Now I have two. Guys, I'm telling y'all, this is not a joke out here. This is not a joke. I don't give a damn. I don't care what y'all think about me. I cannot care less. Yeah, there's two of them above my house now. Two. I showed you the proof of the one. The other one right now is so much lower. And it's beautiful. It shines. Now, we all know that they don't get the glory. God gets the glory. The Father, the God in heaven, gets all the glory. We know that. But we're not going to ignore the fact that they're out there. And especially when we're reading it. All right, let's read it again. Verse 23. Wherefore now also, O Lord of heaven, send me a good angel before us for a fear and dread unto them. But, hold on. You see what he said? Send me a good angel. Meaning that there are evil ones too. But who is in control of them? The Father, because the Father is in control of good and evil. Remember that. Verse 24. And verse 24, and through the might of thine arm, let those be stricken with terror that come against thy holy people to blaspheme. And he ended thus. Then, watch this, now it gets good. Then Nicanor and they that were with him came forward with trumpets and song. Y'all know exactly how these armies here in the United States all over the world, they have their military marches and their drums and their horns and everything. Here we go again, here we go again, walking down the avenue, and doing all that. The very same thing. Nothing new under the sun. Nothing new is under the sun. And they're doing it right here. Watch this. Verse 26. But Judas and his company encountered their enemies with innovation and prayer. They had weapons, armor, and everything. And what we have? That's what we had. So that fighting in their hands and praying unto their God with their hearts, they slew no less than 35,000 men, for through the appearance of God, they were greatly cheered. Do you understand that? And right now, you have so many of our people out here talking about God is not real. Everybody wants to deny our Father, ours. But you got to understand something. Why? They took these types of scriptures out of the Bible. Verse 28. Now, when the battle was done, returning again with joy, they knew that Nicanor lay dead in his harness. Dead. What did we do? We prayed to the Father, and the Father took them all out. The Father is a king killer. The king killer. Man. The world will sit here and celebrate a fat fuck that is a lie, that delivers children, I guess I can say that too. That delivered children, I can say that because we know that's true too. But deliver toys to your children, taking away all of the glory of God. Because remember, the Father is the one that gave you the means to be able to buy your kids things. And our people are so destroyed that they will give it to some fat white man that we know is fake. And they will intentionally lie to their children, but yet they will deny the truth of this book. These things actually happened, and they'll deny this, but they'll continue those lies. The hell out of here, man. All right. Verse 29, and all praises to the Most High for killing that nigga. Verse 29, then they made a great shout and a noise, praising the Almighty in their own language. And Judas, who was ever the chief defender of the citizens, both in body and mind, and who continued his love toward his countrymen all his life, commanded to strike off Nicanor's head and his hand with his shoulder, and bring them to Jerusalem. So when he was there and called them of his nation together and set the priests before the altar, he sent for them that were of the tower and shewed them the vile Nicanor's head and the hand of that blasphemer, which with proud brags he had stretched out against the holy temple of the Almighty. You see that? That bastard stretched out his hand and tried his best, and he even badmouthed the Most High and said that he was mighty. And the Most High said, nigga, what? Nigga, what? Really? Okay. Maccabees, come here. Pray out loud. Let the people see it. I'm gonna kill this nigga. In front of everybody, I'm going to kill him and everybody. Our Father is a terrible God. All praises to the Most High. All praises. And there's so many of you punks out there. Oh, I can't believe you're talking like that. You're a bitch. This is a day of celebration. This is a day of celebration. And all of this is coming back to this planet right now. Do y'all not see this happening all over the earth? Man, please. Did y'all see here recently how those racist white boys went out there? I believe someone was in Harlem. They went out there and got their asses handed to them. Burn their little racist flags and all that. All of this is happening right again on earth as we speak. And all of these Edomites know it. You see that? You see how people get down? They were like, yeah, let's continue. Watch. Verse 33, and when he had cut out the tongue of that ungodly Nicanor, he commanded that they should give it by pieces unto the fowls and hang up the reward of his madness before the temple. You see that? Just like what's going to come in these last days. The very same thing. We are going to be destroying them according to Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 14, and cutting them up in the fowls of the air. And what is this talking about? This is talking about dragons. This is talking about birds, pterodactyls, all of the things that science said went away. But the Father, like, no, I'm just going to take them and hide them until the last days. All right. Verse 34. So every man prays towards the heaven, the glorious Lord, saying, blessed be he that kept his own place undefiled. He hanged also Nicanor's head upon the tower, an evident and manifest sign unto all of the help of the Lord. You see that? The Most High God, the God of Israel, the God that these evil, wicked, disgusting Christians talking about, oh, he's all love. No, he's not. He loves us. He loves Israel. He loves his people, his chosen, his star people, all them other people he don't give a damn about. He don't give a damn about them. Our God is so cold, he said, cut that nigga's head off and put it in a temple for everybody to see. Cut it all off. Cut it off. Feed some of it to the birds, but put up for everybody else to see. Being like, if anybody else come for y'all, they're going to see this nigga's head right here. That's our God. That's our God. All praises to the Father. All praises to the Most High. That's our daddy. Yep. Verse 36, and they ordained all with the common decree in no case to let that day pass without solemnity, but to celebrate the 13th day of the 12th month, which in the Syrian tongue is called Adar, the day before Maccabees Day. Thus went it with Nicanor, and from that time forth the Hebrews had the city in their power, and here will I make an end. And if I have done well, and as is fitting the story, it is that which I desired. But if slenderly and meanly, it is that which I could attain unto. For as it is hurtful to drink wine and water alone, and as wine mingled with water is pleasant and delighteth the taste, even so speech finely framed delighteth the ears of them that read the story, and here shall be an end. All praises to the Most High. Do you see what Maccabees was talking about? He said, first and foremost, this story is for our people. This is the food that our people need. This is what they need to hear. They don't need to be involved in politics. They don't need to be talking about Donald Trump. They don't need to be talking about Kamala Harris. They don't need to be talking about anything other than our God, our one true God. Because remember, according to Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 15, we can't put anybody above us that is not an Israelite, that is not a righteous Israelite, keeping the commandments and telling us what to do. So all of those people are disqualified. So now when we read things like this, when it comes to Maccabees, and he's telling us, hey, you know what? Read these stories, because these are the actual history books for our people, the ones that are not in schools, the ones that are not in colleges. And here it is laying on your coffee table, and you don't even read it.